everyone, it's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my 2021 word of the year. Oh, hi friends. So I am editing and I realized that I had lipstick all around my mouth. So I'm not refilming this video. This is like the 5th time I filmed it. So I apologize that I look a hot mess, but yeah, the sentiment is the same and I wiped it all off, but yeah, I didn't realize it. I should have, but I didn't. So yeah, sorry about that, but I hope you enjoy the rest of it. So I am posting this on all 3 of my channels. So At Home with Misty, Misty Pans, and the Jolly Fit Elf. So if you're subscribed to all 3, you may be seeing this show up in your feed. But I feel like it's important and definitely something that I wanted to share on all 3 of my channels. So if you are unfamiliar with the concept, instead of setting New Year's resolutions, you pick a word. Allie Edwards calls it one little word, and she has this whole journaling, scrapbooking aspect of it. But for me, I just like the thought of having an overarching theme for the entire year. Some of the words I've used in the past were organization. That was the year that I put us on a budget and got like my office at work organized back when I was working. All sorts of things. I've had onward, I've had health. Onward was the word for 2018 because 2017 was such a hard year for me. I developed myasthenia, I had to leave my job. It was a really rough year and I had a hard time moving onward from that. So that's why I picked onward for my 2018 word. My 2020 word was tend because I felt like there were many things in my life that needed tending, like kind of like you would a garden. And my 2019 word was joy. I think I got most of them. I post this video the start of every single year I have for the past 6 or 7 years. So I had a really hard time coming up with my word for 2021. It went through several different iterations. The first was I was thinking something along the lines of like gentle or grace, because I have a tendency to be very, very hard on myself. I've always been someone who sets really high expectations. I grew up not only fat, but also poor in a small town in Oklahoma. And I knew if I didn't want to live that life, that I had to do well, be my best, so I could get into a good school and get out of Dodge, so to speak. And I've carried that on with me since then. I mean, all through college, my undergraduate and my graduate degree, I worked full-time and went to school full-time. My first year teaching first grade, I took 9 graduate hours a semester. There were times like my senior year in college where I was working 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then I would go to school at night and then get up and do the same thing the next day over. So I've always set really high expectations on myself. And what I've discovered in the last year or so is that I am really, really hard on myself to the point of self-sabotage sometimes, because I've either not accomplished what I thought I should have accomplished, or I've had to take a break because of any of 10 illnesses I have, or like this last time where maybe my videos weren't performing as well as I thought they should be. So I always take the opportunity to kind of I just do too much. I don't treat myself very, very well at all. So, like I said, so I thought gentle or grace, like just giving myself, just be gentle to yourself. And I even filmed a video introducing that as my word of the year. And I just didn't care for, like, it just didn't feel like it fit me. And so today I was looking around and I thought, what about patience? Because that is definitely something that I struggle with, especially when it comes to dealing with doctors and blood tests. Like I had blood tests done on the 22nd. We still don't have the blood work back. And then I have, I don't have any patience with myself sometimes because it's like I haven't filmed and I should be filming. So, but that also didn't feel like it fit. And then another one was I found a quote by Gandhi that was, what did it say? strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. So I thought, oh, indomitable could be my word, because I feel like if nothing else I've learned over the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months is that my willpower is very, very strong. I did a 15-day fast. I basically went 15 days without eating, and I did a 7-day fast before that. So I felt like my will is very, very strong, but that still didn't really feel like it fit where I am right now in my life and my journey as a soon-to-be 43-year-old woman. So what I've decided on for my word for 2021 is self-care. And it encompasses so many different things. And I found a few quotes that I really, really love. Like this one is by Jack Kornfield. If your compassion does not include yourself, it's incomplete. Be patient with yourself. Self-growth is tender. It's holy ground. There's no greater investment. That's by Stephen Covey. It's not selfish to love yourself, take care of yourself, and to make yourself a priority. Happiness a priority. It's necessary. That's Mandy Hale. This year, I will love the work in progress that is me. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. That's from Buddha. And then a flower does not think of competing to the flowers next to it. It just blooms. So I really feel like this word is definitely something that can be an all-encompassing word for my year of 2021. And so how that will look like is makeup. So I mentioned in 2020 that I wanted to wear makeup more often. And unfortunately, everybody knows the dumpster fire that was 2020. And I just never really got in the mental headspace to do that on a regular occasion. Losing my dad in November, not feel like, we didn't even celebrate Christmas. So and then being a prisoner, in my own house because I am immune compromised and can't really go anywhere. So 2020 was such a hard year. And I feel like the hard year made me even more harder on myself. And so that's a habit that I really need to break. So I'm committing to doing my best to wear makeup 2 to 3 times a week. If it starts to feel like a job, it's definitely something that I'm going to take out of the equation, because that's the exact opposite of what I want to happen. But I want to be able to sit down for an hour or so and just play with makeup, feel like I've put myself together, and feel like I'm connecting some way outside of my craft room. Because these videos, whether they're on the At Home with Misty channel or this Misty, or the Misty Pans channel, or not Misty Pans, it's just Misty, or my Jollified Elf channel, it's a way for me to interact with you guys, to have engagement with people outside of my my little bubble. It gives me an opportunity to be expressive, whether that's in a crafty way or, with card making, or whether that's in a more artistic way when it comes to playing with makeup. So it's really important to me that I do my best to encourage that, but not take it too far, if that makes sense. Another issue that I have, that I think a lot of people who are on YouTube and doing YouTube videos and trying to grow channels and everything, we fall into this trap of comparison. And I've mentioned in the past, I think it's Thomas Jefferson that's quoted as, comparison is the thief of joy. And that's really, really true. And back in June or July, when I was on the Jollified Elf channel, and I kind of hit this kind of surge of new subscribers, and my videos were getting all these views, and I mentioned even then that it's something that I wanted to stop focusing on, but it's very, very, very hard to do that. And I think especially when I spend 4 or 5 hours on a card, I want as many eyes on it as possible. Not because I'm looking for some kind of recognition or something, but I want to share that with other people. I want other people to see, card making is a hobby that they can do, or just relax and listen to me talk while I make a card, or watching the coloring, etc. So, and then it's, like I said, it's hard because you get into this mindset of like, well, this person's video got this many views, And what am I doing? Do I need to change my tags? And it can just be this really, really, it's just it can be a detrimental mindset, because so much with YouTube and social media is the luck of the draw. Like, some of it has to do with the algorithm, but some of it just has to do with the fact of, is the content that you're putting out something that someone's really excited about at that moment? You see people grow, like Hiram, who's a skincare. He had like 500,000 subscribers like at the end of November or something, and now he's at almost 5 million. So anything can make you grow, and it's really, really hard to stop focusing on the numbers. But I really think in order for me to not get so discouraged with what I'm posting, I have to let that go, because I'm not trying to grow my channels into these huge, conglomerates of business and stuff like that. I just want to focus on the engagement and the interactions with you guys. So that's something that I'm going to have to really focus on and hold myself accountable with. In fact, I'm still working on my 2021 planner, and I almost put a whole social media section about followers and stuff. And I was like, no. We're not going to do that. If I make it to 15,000 subscribers on my Jolly Fit Elf channel, that's going to be so exciting, and I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be really excited that happens, but it's not something that I'm going to overly focus on. Would I like to manifest that? Absolutely. But am I going to sit down and keep track of every single subscriber that I get? Absolutely not, because we know that the algorithm with YouTube is all messed up. People subscribe and then they're unsubscribed without knowing. So there's so many things that go into the back end of a YouTube channel that's just more than dealing with the numbers. And so I'm going to do my best to kind of get out of that mindset and stop looking at views, answer my questions, engage with you guys. And that is going to be where my focus lies. So you're going to see more of me trying to build community. And, I have a Facebook group. I have a Facebook page or pages, trying to really just broaden my bubble, because I don't know that my 2021 is going to look that much different than my 2020 as far as being able to leave the house, because I'm still immune compromised. COVID is still a really huge risk. People in Texas still refuse to wear masks. So I may end up staying home as I did in 2020. And I want to be able, that's going to be definitely a part of caring for myself, is making sure that I'm engaging with other people. This is going to be long and windy, isn't it? Oh my word. So definitely, engaging with other people, making sure that I'm sitting down and I am focusing on me, whether that's working on my planner, whether that's putting on makeup, whether that's, just watching eyeshadow, anything that just gives me 20 or 30 minutes to sit down and calm down and chill. One thing that I feel like I do very, very well is I take time to read. I love to read. I've set another goal for myself of 700 books. I came really, really close last year. I have 3 different numbers. Goodreads gave me a different number than Kindle gave me that I had. I documented myself. So, but my goal is around 700 books a year, which sounds like a whole lot, but I would rather read a book than watch a television show or to watch a YouTube video. And I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I'm watching YouTube, sometimes I'm reading a book, but it's something that I enjoy. And one way that I've considered, adding more focus into that was starting a Booktube channel. I don't know that I'm going to do it, because that's a 4th channel to try to keep up with. But again, I love reading and I love having discussions with people on the books I read. That's why I'm in so many author groups on Facebook, because my favorite authors, I love being in their comment section and discussing books with them or sharing that I love the book, those kinds of things. So that is another way that I am going to be making sure that I am taking care of myself. And kind of the last way, for now, like one thing that I really want to make sure that I'm focusing on is self-talk. And I think a lot of us end up with this CD that's been written with words by other people telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you know, you weigh too much, you don't wear nice clothes, you're too poor, you're too rich. Like, social media has given people a platform to be so shaming. They shame people about everything. And it gives them an opportunity to do all these things with a level of anonymity, like being anonymous. So it's really going to be important for me to make sure that I am recognizing my strengths, that I recognize the work that I put into something. You know, if I put 4 hours into a card, yay, I put 4 hours into a card. I love it. I'm going to price it what I think it needs to be priced. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The same thing with like my weight loss journey. So it's been back and forth for the past few years, trying to figure out a medication that doesn't mess with the diabetes and etc. You know, helps the rheumatoid arthritis or helps the myasthenia or stops me from having back issues. So it's this huge ordeal that I go through. And again, I always put really high expectations on myself. And when I don't accomplish what I think I should have accomplished, I am really bad about punishing myself. And I have to stop that. I have to recognize that I'm a good person. I'm kind and compassionate. I'm very much an empath. I'm very empathetic to people around me. I am very outspoken for fairness and what I feel is right, not only in our justice system, but just everyday life, you know? So it's really important to me to make sure that I keep my focus on those things and realize that I'm not perfect. I'm a work in progress. I'll be a work in progress till I take my very last breath. But I have to be kinder and more compassionate to myself. I have to be more empathetic with myself. I have to realize that there are going to be days where I literally cannot do what I want to do. And I have to be okay with that because unfortunately, developing these autoimmune diseases with the back issues, you know, getting to the point where I need injections and possible surgery, etc. I have a spinal condition, a couple of spinal conditions. Both are hereditary. One is called stenosis, which a lot of people have. It means your spinal cord is narrowed. And then I also have what's called OPLL, and it's the ossification of the posterior longitudinal ligaments. So basically the ligaments that run in my spinal canal, north and south, are calcifying. They're basically turning to bone-like structures in my already crowded spinal canal, and it's causing a lot of nerve pain, a lot of nerve issues, and it's terrifying. And basically when I get close to being paralyzed is when we'll have surgery, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot of stuff at play with my health that is not caused by me, that is not, you know, nothing I can do. I'm doing everything that I can do right now to take care of it. And I have to recognize that, and I have to stop sabotaging myself or taking, you know, being unfair and unkind to myself when I don't do what I think I should have done. So hopefully this video has made any kind of sense. But yeah, so I feel like self-care is going to be the best word for me going forward. I'm really interested to know in what word you picked for 2021. If that's something that you've done, make sure you leave that down in the comment below if you're willing to share. I would really love to read. If it's something that you've never heard of or something that you never considered, now's a great time. We're still at the beginning of a brand new year. And you can pick a word of the year any year, or you can get to the middle of June or July and be like, I think I need a different word. Or you can pick 5 words or you can pick a phrase. You can do anything that you want to do. The goal is to recognize something in yourself that you want to focus on, either to make it better or to nourish it and help it grow. It's really up to you So thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, this is going up on all 3 channels. I really hope that you come away with a better understanding of me and a better understanding of the concept. And I will try to share the ways that I am focusing on self-care each month. There is a self-care planner that a friend of mine picked up. I'm going to look into that to see if it's something that I think will work for me. But yeah, so if you guys hear me talking down to myself or beating myself up, make sure you let me know in the comments, because it's definitely something that I want to make sure that I stop for 2021. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.